everyone, and welcome to the Tuesday SportsCenter show with Loro and Matt. And we have a lot to talk about today. We got the NBA playoffs beginning today, and then we also have a lot to talk about with the Dodgers and more news and notes around the NFL, the NHL, and MLS. So, Matt, how's it going?
It's going great. How are you doing?
Doing great. So we got the NBA playoffs starting today. We got the Eastern Conference play-in tournament as the Indiana Pacers will take on the Charlotte Hornets, and then we'll see the Boston Celtics take on the Washington Wizards. So let's talk about those games first. Let's start with the Celtics and Wizards game. Who do you think is going to be the 7 seed, and who's going to play the winner of the 9 and 10 game?
This is a close one. I'm going to stick with the Celtics. I think that they might match up a little bit better against Washington. But you can't count out someone like Russell Westbrook taking over and getting him at least this one win. I think the question is, too, what happens to Brad Stevens as head coach? I think he's a good head coach. I don't think that they've put together that great of a roster for him, Danny Ainge and all those people. But I think that the Celtics will get a win and move on. What do you think?
I'm going to say the Washington Wizards move on. They're going to be the 7th seed. I want to see Russell Westbrook play a 7-game series against his buddy Kevin Durant and James Harden. And they'll punch their ticket to Brooklyn.
All right.
That's what I think. Because I mean, as a Laker fan, I don't like the Celtics, but I want to see the Celtics kind of play either the Pacers or the Hornets in the 8 seed game.
Yep.
So in the 9-10 game, do you got the Pacers or you got the Hornets playing the? Because in my scenario, I have the Boston Celtics either playing. In my scenario, I have the Boston Celtics playing the Indiana Pacers for the 9 and 10 game. For the 8 seed game, I mean. So
yeah, I'm going to go with the Hornets. I think they might pull it together here. Is Ball playing?
I'm not sure if he is, but he should be back by then. But if in your scenario, if it's Celtics and Hornets, you could definitely see Gordon Hayward get vengeance on his old team.
Yeah, good. Yeah. What do you think?
Now, I'm going to say Pacers and Celtics.
Okay.
And then in my scenario, I'll have the Boston Celtics playing the Philadelphia 76ers, and they'll get to play against their old boss and Doc Rivers. How fun would that be?
A lot of fun, yeah.
If Doc Rivers gets to coach against his former team in the first round of the playoffs, since he's the Sixers head coach. I gotta have the Sixers going all the way in my NBA Finals bracket. So before we get to all that, let's talk about who's going to be in the 7 and 8 seeds in the Western Conference play. And let's start with an anticipated matchup: LeBron versus Curry in tomorrow's Western Conference play-in tournament. So, with that being said, I'm going to say our Lakers will punch their ticket to Phoenix to take on the Suns.
I think so too. I think they'll be able to pull it together and get a win and move on to play Phoenix.
And then who do you have in the Grizzlies and Spurs game? I want to go with Greg Popovich and the Spurs.
Against the Spurs are playing which team again?
Memphis Grizzlies, the 9 and 10 game.
I want to root for Memphis here. I just want to see them. I'm going to call Memphis.
Oh, you got an upset alert in that game?
Yeah. Yep.
And then in my scenario, I have the Warriors taking on the Spurs, DeMar DeRozan going up against Steph Curry. And then in my scenario, I have the Warriors being the 8th seed, and they'll take on the Utah Jazz.
Yeah, me too. I like how the Warriors are playing right now, and Steph Curry just going all out.
He is going all out. But with that being said, let's talk about our first round predictions. Let's start in the Western Conference. Let's start with, in my scenario, I have the Utah Jazz taking on the Golden State Warriors.
All right.
And my pick for that is Utah in 7.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Utah too. I'll go with Utah in 6.
Well, the thing with Utah is they play great at home, but I could see it going in 6 just because I think that Gobert and Mitchell are going to stomp all over Curry and Draymond.
Yep.
And then the Clippers taking on the Mavs, but I don't want to. I kind of purposefully want a Lakers-Clippers showdown in the West Final, so that's kind of my scenario here. So I say Clippers in 7 over Dallas.
Yeah, I think Clippers are going to win. They might even win in 6. I think that it's a good matchup for the Clippers. Dallas isn't really playing D, which will help the Clippers, I think, a lot. I think they match up well against the Mavericks.
So in my scenario, I have the Clippers taking on the Jazz in the second round.
Yeah, here I think there might be an upset special here with Clippers advancing in 7 games.
Yeah, and you mean to the West Finals?
Yeah.
And the 3 and 6 game, the Nuggets versus the Blazers. I got the Denver Nuggets in 7 over Portland.
Yeah, so do I.
Because I think that's going to be a fun series. And then the Lakers Suns game, 2 versus 7 game. I got Lakers in 7 over Phoenix.
Oh, upset special.
And then in my scenario, I got the Lakers playing the Denver Nuggets again in the second round. And then the Clippers take on the Utah Jazz.
I got the Suns beating the Lakers in 6 games.
Why do you say that? Because why do you think the Suns will beat the Lakers in 6 games?
I think I'm not sold on the fact that LeBron and AD are 100%. And I thought at this point in the season they'd be a little bit better and clicking. And Dennis Schroeder also, not sure about him. So I think the Suns. I think Chris Paul has done such a great job this year with that team. I can't bet against him. So I'm gonna go with the Suns over the Lakers.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Suns beat the Lakers in like 6 or 7, but I'm kind of hoping that the Lakers kind of get revenge on the Suns from their previous meetings in the first round with Kobe. So that's what I'm expecting here. But in my bracket, I got Jazz, Clippers, and Lakers and Nuggets.
Yeah.
In the second round. So in the second round, I got the Clippers beating the Jazz in 6 games, and then the Lakers beating the Nuggets in 5.
Okay.
Like last year in the Western Conference Finals. So my Western Conference Finals pick is the Lakers and the Clippers, Battle of LA. And then in my scenario here, I have the Lakers representing the Western Conference in the NBA Finals.
All right.
And then let's talk about the East. So in my scenario,
I have in the West, I have the Suns playing the Clippers in the Western Conference Finals, and I'm going to go with the Suns beating the Clippers. I think the Clippers, they're not as good at closing out games as the Suns are, and I think when you get a bunch of close games, I think the Suns are going to be able to have that advantage. So I'll go with the Suns over the Clippers.
Are you saying that because Chris Paul's going to be going up against the Clippers and he kind of knows their schemes?
Yeah, there'll be a little bit of a revenge factor maybe, but I think Chris Paul, he's had one of those great years, and I'm not betting against him this year, in the West at least.
Yeah, don't. I mean, him and Booker, they got a squad together in Phoenix, but in my scenario for the Eastern Conference playoff bracket, I got the Sixers sweeping the Celtics.
Yeah, me too.
I don't see that going any further. And then what about the Knicks and the Hawks? Who do you think is going to play Philly in the second round?
Ooh, I'm going to go with the Hawks.
Me too. I mean, as much as I like the Knicks and R.J. Barrett, Obi Toppin, Julius Randle, I think Atlanta's the better team. I like what Nate McMillan is doing with Atlanta, and I do expect Nate McMillan to be the full-time head coach for the Atlanta Hawks.
All right.
So in my scenario, I got Philly versus Atlanta.
Me too.
And then 3 versus 6, I got Milwaukee in 5 over the Miami Heat.
Okay, I got Milwaukee in 6, over Miami.
I mean, Miami just suffered a big blow to losing Victor Oladipo. How do you think that affects their chances?
It hurts them a lot, but I'll say this: they're a very well-run team, and as they proved last year, you can't underestimate them. So, but I'm going to still pick Milwaukee in 6.
And then I got in the 2-7 game, I got Brooklyn in a sweep over the Washington Wizards. So that's the kind of I only see 2 sweeps in the Eastern Conference playoff round.
Me too. I see the Nets sweeping them as well.
In the second round, I got Philly and 4 over Atlanta.
Ooh, yeah, big old sweep. I think Philly is going to be pretty dominant. I'll take Philly in 5.
And then I got the Brooklyn Nets in 7 over Milwaukee.
Yeah, I have them beating Milwaukee in 6.
And then in my Eastern Conference Finals prediction, I got the Brooklyn Nets taking on the Philadelphia 76ers.
Yeah, so do I.
And then in my scenario, who would I want to see play the Lakers in the NBA Finals? Will it be Brooklyn or will it be Philly? I'm going to go with the upset here. I'm going to say the Brooklyn Nets beat the Sixers in 7 games.
Yep. I'm going to go with pure raw talent, and I think Brooklyn beats Philly in 7 as well.
And then in my scenario, I got Lakers-Nets in the NBA Finals, and I got the Lakers winning it in 7. In your scenario, you got Phoenix versus
Brooklyn.
And how many games? And who's going to be the winner in the NBA Finals this year in your bracket?
I'm going to go with Brooklyn in 6. I think this is where just raw talent kind of beats out the Phoenix Suns.
And my pick for the NBA Finals MVP, if the Lakers win it again, I'm going with Anthony Davis.
I'm going to go with Kevin Durant
as the NBA Finals MVP against Phoenix in your bracket.
Yep.
Yeah, those are some good predictions here. So the Pacers and Hornets will be playing in just a minute. So that being said here, you think the Pacers are going to win this game in your opinion?
No. I think that the Hornets are going to win.
I think the biggest blow to each team heading into the playoffs is Jamal Murray on the Denver Nuggets. Do you think that's going to affect Denver in some way in the playoffs?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it hurts them a lot, I think.
I think it hurts them a lot too, but look, as long as you have Nikola the Joker Jokic on the floor, Denver has a great chance. But you are missing something out of Jamal Murray. You're missing his playmaking skills, his shooting, and his passing. But Jokic can pass too. He gets triple-doubles each game for a European big man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also want to get your thoughts here on some non-playoff teams that didn't make the playoffs. So what's your thoughts on Luke Walton getting retained as the head coach of the Sacramento Kings? Was that a good move for the Kings or a bad move for the Kings?
Say it again.
Was it a good move for the Kings to keep Luke Walton as their head coach?
I guess so. I'm not really big into some coach. I don't know. I think that I try not to concern myself so much with firing or even hiring head coaches. I think they must have a plan that they still want to give them another year left. So why not?
Yeah, I mean, I think Luke Walton could be good at coaching college talent. I mean, I don't think he's built for the NBA, in my opinion, because when he coached the Lakers, he coached them at the wrong time because the Lakers were heading in a new direction. They were heading for title contenders, but the Lakers parted ways with Luke Walton was because the Lakers were in win now mode. And I felt like that move paid off. So other news to talk about is that Monty Williams was voted the NBA CA Coach of the Year. Do you think he has a good chance at winning the NBA Coach of the Year award?
Oh, yeah, I think he's done a great job. What do you think?
He's done fantastic with Phoenix. I think him and also Doc Rivers have made quite an impact with their new teams, but I think Monty Williams has been a great head coach for Phoenix.
Yeah.
And I think he was the one that convinced Chris Paul to come to Phoenix.
Yep.
And I think that partnership won't. I think that partnership will last forever because I think Chris Paul likes Monty Williams.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Also, news to talk about from the Lakers is that that LeBron James is good to go in tomorrow's game against the Warriors. So you think that LeBron is going to be in full force, but are you still not sure about the Lakers' chances at making a deep run just because you're not sure how effective LeBron and AD are heading into tomorrow's play-in game?
Yeah, I agree. Yep.
Yeah, so I think that the Lakers should win this game, and I look forward to seeing the Lakers play tomorrow. So we got some Dodger news to talk about. Before we talk about today's game against the Arizona Diamondbacks, the Dodgers suffered a big blow to their lineup. Corey Seager has a broken right hand as he got hit by a pitch against the Miami Marlins. And I'll tell you what, even though the Dodgers have so many injuries, they are persevering.
Yeah, that's a tough one. How long is Seager going to be out for?
4 weeks, probably. From what I'm hearing, is that Dave Roberts said that it doesn't have to require surgery.
Oh, okay, that's good.
So he's basically on this hand right there, on the right hand. I think the broken hand was towards the pinky area.
Oh, okay.
Where he got hit on the pitch. I kind of thought when I saw the play, he got it hit the tail end of the bat.
Okay.
So basically, that's a huge blow to the Dodgers and Corey Seager. But I do expect the Dodgers to find a way to overcome all the injuries that they've had and still put together a team that's destined for a deep playoff run.
Uh-huh.
So also, what are your thoughts on Albert Pujols becoming a Dodger?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I wasn't that surprised. I think it's a good fit for both. I think that, the Cardinals didn't want him. La Russa and Chicago didn't want him. Those would have been two destinations, perhaps. The Dodgers get him for what, 400,000 or whatever the veteran minimum is, and the Angels are paying the rest of his salary is 25 million or whatever it is. I think that he will provide maybe a good bat off the bench, and it's always good to have veteran clubhouse leadership, I think, in a situation like this. So bringing on like a vet, maybe they'll make some use out of him, and he should be good in the clubhouse.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he should be good in the clubhouse and a good guy to have to start once in a while to give Max Muncy a breather at first. Whenever Corey Seager comes back, I mean, I could see Albert starting once a week, or maybe if Turner needs a rest, I could see Max Muncy moving over to third base and putting Albert at first. But looking at today's lineup for the Dodgers in Game 2 against the Arizona Diamondbacks, Albert Pujols is in the lineup again. So yesterday in Game 1 of the series against the Diamondbacks, Albert actually got an RBI, but in his first AB as a Dodger, he nearly hit that ball out of the yard.
Yeah. He'll provide some excitement, I think.
He's not the fastest guy on the base pads, I'll tell you that.
No, that's for sure.
I'm not expecting him to steal a lot of bases. I mean, I want to see Albert still provide that thunder off his bat. And especially when it comes to a pinch hit situation with the bases loaded, I expect him to come through in those situations with a base hit or a double or a home run. Because Albert still has the bat in him, but I think his defense is kind of 50-50 still for his age.
For his age, yeah, it's worse than that if you just compare him, across the board. But yeah, I mean, as long they're not going to ask him to do much, So what they ask him to do, I think he can probably do for them.
Yeah, so what was your thoughts on him wearing number 55? Because Corey Seager has 5. He chose 55 because he still likes 5 for some reason.
Yeah, and he, you're not going to make Corey Seager change his number, so he has to kind of pick a new one, which I think if you're Albert Pujols, I don't think he cares.
So, what's your thoughts on Gavin Lux kind of starting at shortstop during Seager's absence?
Well, it could be what they need. I think with Seager out, this is his chance to shine.
He also plays second base too. He's also very versatile too in the infield. His primary position is second base, but he's just playing shortstop for now until Seager returns. So that's kind of what the benefits is if you have Seager on the injured list.
Right.
So also, when do you think Cody Bellinger will be back? I think Cody Bellinger should be back within the next week or two. I heard that he is starting a minor league rehab assignment very soon. And also the Dodgers could be getting Zach McKinstry back as well.
Yeah, they could be.
So also the Detroit Tigers, they're right now 15-26. They're in Seattle right now to take on the Seattle Mariners. Yesterday they had a 4-1 win over the Mariners, and Casey Mize is now 3-3.
Yeah, one of the bright spots of the season, I think. Casey Mize there. And Tigers are no longer the worst team in baseball. The Twins are, I think, right?
Oh, my God. The Minnesota Twins are supposed to be very good and make this American League Central the toughest race so far. But I don't know what's going on with the Twins. They have taken a big drop back.
Yeah, they're only 2-8 in their last 10 games. Something's wrong.
Something is wrong, but the Detroit Tigers, they're supposed to be in last place, but AJ Hinch somehow is making them play hard.
Yeah, they're 6-4 in the last 10 games. They're on a bit of a little run here.
A little bit, but do you think that run will last forever?
No. I think that they'll be at the bottom when the season's over.
Yeah, they're probably. You think the Tigers still have a good 5-year plan with AJ Hinch?
Yeah,
I think so too. I like Akil Baddoo. I think Akil is a great player, a Rookie of the Year candidate for the American League. And I think not only he can play left field, he can also play some center field too.
Yes, he can.
I think he's probably a left fielder because I think Jacoby Jones should play center field every day. But today you got Spencer Turnbull on the mound today going up against Justin Dunn. And today in the lineup for the Tigers, you got Robbie Grossman in there today. And then Akil Baddoo is batting ninth.
Yep.
So do you think the Tigers will get another victory today?
I think they'll pull it out, yeah.
And then the Dodgers today. You got Julio Urias on the mound today for Game 2 against the Arizona Diamondbacks. The Dodgers won the series against the Miami Marlins. But do you think the Dodgers will get another win today against the Arizona Diamondbacks?
Yeah, I think they're going to get some wins against Arizona here.
Yeah, I think they're going to probably win the series because you got Clayton Kershaw on Wednesday, and then you got Trevor Bauer on Thursday, and then the Dodgers have a big series up in the Bay Area against the San Francisco Giants for a 3-game series. Do you think the Dodgers will sweep them to get back into first place?
That'll be close. It'll be tough for them, too. They're a little bit banged up right now, the Dodgers, but I think they'll get 2 out of 3.
Yeah, the Dodgers play their chances against the Giants is they play the Giants this weekend in San Francisco, and then the Giants come to Los Angeles next weekend. So the Dodgers, they should win some games against the Giants and lead this season series over them. And the Dodgers could get back into first place by next weekend.
All right, yeah.
So, and then the Dodgers take on the Houston Astros next week, and that's going to be a lot of bragging rights because this will be a World Series rematch from 2017 and also their first match since 2020 when Joe Kelly made the face of Carlos Correa. So that rivalry is heating up.
Yeah.
So what do you think of the Dodgers' chances? Do you think they should sweep the Houston Astros?
Yeah, I think they will.
And then when you're on vacation, the Dodgers will take on the St. Louis Cardinals. And Albert Pujols will get to play his former team. So you think the Dodgers will sweep the Cardinals then?
Yes.
In Albert's return, when Albert gets to play against his former team?
And I think he'll get a couple home runs.
Yeah. So let's talk about this before we talk about the NFL. So when do you think tonight Albert Pujols gets his first Dodgers home run?
Yep.
I called it last night, but I was close. I think tonight is the night. So that's what I think here. So let's talk about some NFL stuff right now. So Mac Jones and Justin Fields had productive weekends in their first practices with their respective teams. What do you see in them, and do you think both Justin Fields and Mac Jones have a great shot at winning the starting jobs come week 1?
Yeah, I think that it's tough. Like, I think with Justin Fields, he has a much better shot because he has Andy Dalton ahead of him. But of course, the reason you brought in Andy Dalton is to help mentor, and so maybe he will get a couple of starts early on. But the Bears also open up on Sunday Night Football, and yeah, if he does Sunday Night Football, or if he starts on Sunday Night Football, that's going to be a great game. The Bears and the Rams.
I want to see Mac Jones start against the Dolphins because I want him to go up against his former college teammate in Tua Tagovailoa.
Yeah.
So that's what my call is. I heard he had a great weekend. The coaches were wowed by his rookie minicamp performance, and that tells me that not only he can shine in that setting, I think he's going to shine and train in the OTA session, and I think that he's going to beat out Cam Newton for the starting job.
Yep.
That's what I think. Don't you see that? Because I think Cam Newton's kind of washed up.
Yeah, we'll see it. It's I think we'll have to see if he fits that system right away or not.
Also, we got some true or false claims here on the Chargers. Do you think the Chargers are going to be a breakout team in 2021? True or false?
That's a close one. I think the most likely scenario is they go 9-8. So to me, that doesn't really count as breakout. But if they go to 10-7, then all of a sudden you're in the playoff hunt. That might happen. They have a tougher start to the season than a tougher finish. So we'll know by week 7 what their potential is.
You're going to see that when you go to the Chargers-Cowboys game in week 2. I mean, the Chargers, I think they're going to be great. I mean, I look forward to watching their games too. But let's talk things over to the LA Rams. We got this picture right here. Deshaun Jackson wearing number 1 for the Rams.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And then we got a video that Matthew Stafford threw to Cooper Kupp. And how excited are you to see Matthew Stafford run the Rams offense?
I think it's going to be fun, and I think he's going to do a really good job with it. I think Rams, I think they might be the team to beat in the NFC this year.
I could see that. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised just because Sean McVay is getting them in the right direction. I thought Sean McVay had something in Jared Goff. I kind of felt like that they gave up on him way too soon just because they got knocked out of the playoffs in Green Bay, but I don't know why they wanted to move on from Goff that early.
Yeah, I mean, Goff's record was fine. I think they probably thought they had hit a ceiling with him, and I think maybe him and McVay didn't quite see eye to eye on a lot of things.
So how do you think Jared Goff is going to see things with Dan Campbell?
Dan Campbell, he's an exciting coach, that's for sure. I think he's going to treat Goff with a lot of respect, and they helped that offensive line for him, and I think that he's going to have some success in Detroit.
I think he will. I mean, he's got Penei Sewell, and I think he's going to be very I think the lines will be fun, but I don't think they're going to be competing, though.
No, I don't think so either.
So, also that being said here, what do you think about who do you think in your opinion on the Chargers is going to break out? Do you think Justin Herbert's going to take a big leap in year 2, or do you think you'll get to see Mike Williams have a full healthy season?
Yeah, I think Herbert's going to be pretty dynamic again. I mean, he had a great year last year. I think he'll be even better. And I think you might see someone on the defensive side of the ball really have a breakout year. Maybe there'll be Asante Samuel Jr. Or maybe it'll be Joey Bosa.
I forgot to talk to you about that last week. Do you think Asante Samuel Jr. will be one of the starting corners next to Chris Harris Jr.?
I think so, yeah.
I'm excited to see him. I think him reuniting with Derwin James, I think that's going to speak a lot.
Yeah.
Also, the Chargers made a roster move today. They got Austin Proehl. I don't know if you know him. His dad played for the Greatest Show on Turf Rams in their run to the Super Bowl in Atlanta.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
So now he's switching from the Rams to the Chargers. So you think he has a chance to make the team?
Yep, I think he does.
Yeah, so let's talk about now the NHL playoffs. It's off to a good start, but some news to talk about in Detroit, the Detroit Red Wings have agreed to extend Jeff Blashill. What do you think about that? Do you think he is the right coach for the Detroit Red Wings?
A lot of people are going to be upset at that. But Yzerman thinks he's the right coach for right now. And I don't know. I haven't seen the terms of the extension, but they're a bottom-dwelling team still. Like they probably need Blashill to hang around for another year before maybe a stronger candidate comes to the organization.
And my question for you is, who is your pick to win the 2021 Stanley Cup? I picked the Colorado Avalanche this year.
I do too. I think they're going to do it.
Yeah, I mean, they're deep. They're talented. I think with the playoff structure, I think they're going to probably knock out the Tampa Bay Lightning in one of the rounds.
Yeah.
So that's what I think here. But also, other news to talk about is that the LA Galaxy beat FC Austin, and Chicharito is heating up at the right time, and the Galaxy beat FC Austin 2-0.
Yeah, they're playing very well. Very good soccer for sure.
And their next game will be against the Portland Timbers.
Yeah, it'll be a tough one.
So do you think LA Galaxy's trending in the right direction from what you've seen out of them?
Yep, I think so. They're looking good.
What about LAFC? What is their upward progress like?
Well, they lost to Seattle last weekend. They're off to their worst start ever as a franchise. They have some issues, I think, with their bigger players, with Vela, Rossi, and Atuesta. I think some might want to move to a European league, or some might be unhappy with the role in the current team. I'm not quite sure what it is. There might be an injury in there. And there's Bob Bradley, the head coach. So they kind of got to figure out, what's going on with that. But I think they'll still be in it at the end, contending for a championship.
It's early. I think LAFC has a great chance of competing. But their next matchup will be on Saturday, the 22nd. The Galaxy take on Portland. I mean, Portland has had their number in recent years. So the LAFC will take on the Colorado Rapids on ESPN+.
Uh-huh.
So do you think LAFC should win that game?
I hope so. Yeah, I think they should.
Yeah, the game is at Bank of California Stadium.
Uh-huh.
So you think that home field advantage will be the key to the Galaxy? Or to LAFC?
So.
And the Galaxy, too. So, so that being said, Matt, what do you think? So you think that so right now the Hornets and the Pacers game is on. Are you kind of excited to tune into what these play-in tournaments are about? Do you think that this is going to be a good stepping stone for them to move forward with that?
I kind of like it. Are they on ESPN?
TNT.
Oh, TNT, yeah, I'll be watching it.
Also, other news to talk about here is that Marv Albert, the voice of the NBA on TNT, is going to retire. So we're going to miss hearing him say that yes call every time there's a three-pointer or an exciting play. I think that the NBA on TNT family will not be the same without Marv Albert.
Yeah, he's one of the best in the business. He's one of those great announcers. I wish him a good retirement. And yeah, his commentary has always been great over the years.
He's done NFL, baseball, college basketball, but I felt like that he was better off at the NBA than the NFL.
Yeah, I think the NBA was where he really shines. Yeah.
He wasn't great at the NFL or football. Because I know
he was just better at the NBA. He's so good at the NBA. It's tough to compare it to anything else he did because he's such a good basketball play-by-play guy.
Well, we'll still hear his son Kenny call games as well for Fox and also Turner Sports for NHL games.
Yep, his son followed in his dad's footsteps.
I'm talking about Kenny Albert. That's still going to be working because you're still going to hear him on the NFL on Fox broadcasts, and you're also going to still hear him for the MLB on Fox broadcasts, and also he's also doing the Stanley Cup this year with Eddie Olczyk.
Yeah, it should be fun.
So let's talk about who should replace Marv Albert as the number one announcer for the NBA on TNT. Would you go with Kevin Harlan or would you go with Brian Anderson?
I like Kevin Harlan. I've always liked him. I like his radio call on Monday Night Football. He does Monday Night Football on the radio. He's really good at that. So, yeah, I'd go with Kevin Harlan.
100%. I'd go with Kevin Harlan as the new lead voice on the NBA on TNT. I think you move him up with Reggie Miller.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And then the number two would be Brian Anderson with maybe Grant Hill.
Yeah.
On TNT, because here's what I expect from Brian Anderson. I think Brian Anderson I think he's going to retain his number one, the lead voice for the MLB on CBS.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think Brian Anderson should be the lead voice for basketball for TNT because I feel like that Brian Anderson should be the lead announcer for the MLB on CBS broadcasts.
Yeah.
Especially in the playoffs because he's very good at baseball for Turner. He does games for the Milwaukee Brewers, but I think Kevin Harlan should be the one to succeed Marv Albert as the lead announcer for TNT. But Kevin Harlan's great at both basketball and football, so there's not a problem there.
Right, yep.
Just because I feel like that Kevin Harlan can do both. He can do basketball on Thursdays and then football on Sunday and Mondays. Because he has a job with CBS and Westwood One. So you think he would be a good choice to replace Marv Albert on the NBA on TNT and to call the conference finals.
Yeah, yep.
And All-Star game too.
Yeah.
Marv Albert kind of declined in his recent years of broadcasting because of his voice, but you could also remember Marv Albert being involved in that controversial sex scandal.
Yeah, that was, that was his own kind of private life, if I remember correctly, and it wasn't that, I don't think it affected many people. I forget about it now, but yeah, I remember when that happened. That was like 20 years ago, more than 20 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, so are you kind of sad to see Marv Albert leave TNT?
Oh, yeah.
And retire?
Yep, he's a legend.
Yeah, he's going to be 80. I was hoping that he would be back for at least one more season with TNT, but I felt like that it was just time for him to move on.
Yep.
And I say give Kevin Harlan the chance to be the number one announcer for TNT. Move up with him and Reggie Miller. And then who do you think should replace Chris Webber on the TNT broadcast for Thursdays?
Ooh, I don't know. Who do you think?
I would love Grant Hill.
Uh-huh.
Or another guy, Steve Smith from the NBA on the NBA TV team.
Uh-huh.
Or maybe Brent Berry.
Yeah, those will all be pretty good.
But I kind of want Grant Hill because, but actually with Grant Hill, he could do both. He could split time on Thursdays, but since he does March Madness for CBS, maybe you get Steve Smith to fill in for Grant Hill at times.
Yeah.
That's why I think Grant Hill should replace Chris Webber as a game analyst for Thursdays because TNT also has Tuesdays too. I think if you have Brian Anderson replace Kevin Harlan as the number two announcer for Thursdays, you got to get a number two guy for Tuesdays too. Maybe you get Spiro Ditas to be the number two guy on Tuesdays with Iron Eagle.
Yeah.
So with that being said, Matt, you have a good vacation. That's going to do it for the show. And we'll talk to you in 3 weeks or maybe when you're on your vacation.
Yep. See you, Loro.
See you, Matt.